All right, I have returned, and we're waiting for this to happen. Specifically, it's running cargo build still. I think it's just a little slower right now because it's also doing this apt-get install of some of the things that the audio transcriber. There it is. All right, this is going to take a minute too. So that took 248 seconds to do that apt-get install. Okay, well, I guess while we're waiting, so if I'm gonna do it this way, where we do the apt-get update and upgrade in our base image for the runtime, then I don't know. I could add a run step to do apt-get clean and this deletion for every single one. Alternatively, I could have two runtimes. I could have like a that's worth considering. Have just like a runtime that it's intended for you to apt-get install stuff into, and one to not. Because most of these don't. Only a few of these need like extra things installed, just like the video ingester, render job, and audio transcriber. So what would that look like? I guess what I would do is I would do this. Which ones need this user and UID? It's the same ones that need the ability to run apt-get, right? Yeah. Okay. Ooh, yeah, let's do this. Base. Okay, so anything that is going to anything that is going to need to apt-get needs to use runtime, and everything else can use runtime base. There. That is maybe good. Right, so the ones that are using this bigger runtime, like the thing where I've done apt-get update on, are doing clean and cleaning up. Yes. Okay, so maybe this is good. This is still going. Yeah, the pip install of OpenAI Whisper definitely takes some time, and then we have a little script that also downloads the model. Running pip as the root user, blah 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 blah. All right, so this is us downloading the model into the image. Just a cool 1.5 gigs. It's gonna live in our image. So I don't think I'll be testing with this build on stream anymore. We'll try maybe Twitch Lambda again and see how that goes, since that should be relatively fast. Yeah, approaching 10 minutes. 10 minutes to build this. Interesting. So, Cargo Chef Prepare was not cached. Why not? All right, well, this should be over in a second, but yeah, about 10 minutes to build this one. The thought with this, the goal with this though, is that I'm likely going to be in a place where I'm not going to be able to easily say, oh, I only need to build this image, right? So when I have an actual formal like build and deploy process for this project, I'm going to want to just build all of the images. So if I can cache as much as is possible between all the images, which are, you know, it's the same build process, right? We're just doing cargo build at the top level and it's building everything. So we should be able to cache that and then, you know, mint off, you know, create those images for each individual runtime. And only some of them need additional things installed beyond the binary. So trying to, you know, make that as efficiently as we can. This also takes a little bit of time to push because it's like we have like a 1.5 gigabyte layer and nearly 9 gigabyte. It's like 10 plus gigabytes of stuff. So yeah. All right. We'll get there eventually though. I guess while this is going, let's just start another build, right? Because we're all this is we should be able to oh, it's right. Can I not run the same task multiple times? I could give it a bigger number here for instance limit, apparently. It should be done soon. Maybe not. Okay, well, let's... 5. Here's the thing. Can we go look at the Docker ignore? Does this ignore... yeah, venv. Sure. I mean, those things don't exist anymore. env files, VS Code. Should just be like that, right? .vs Code. Yeah. I think. I don't know. It's interesting. Right? It's just the target folder is at the top level, and then we don't need that anymore. This is not a Python. This came from. I think this file predates this application as it is now. This is coming back from the original, like the prototype for this glowing telegram project, which was done with Django. So yeah, and I guess, I mean, I'm not on a Mac, so that doesn't matter to me. And these things don't exist anymore in this folder. Sure. Okay, so that should be good. Okay, can we try to, there we go. All right, let's do Twitch Lambda again. Okay, so cargo build was not cached still. It's unfortunate. Why? I mean, to be fair, the other things weren't either. It was one thing when the step 5 was cached, but step 6 wasn't. Did not make a lot of sense to me. But what we'll do is we'll run through this and we'll do the YouTube Lambda and see if the build step is cached there. I think that'll be a good test. And if not, that is maybe something I'll have to figure out how to get Docker build to tell me why it's not caching. In the meantime, we're still pushing. And bitrate's okay. That's good. There we go. Yeah, so I think regardless, let's go ahead and get all of this committed. And part of this should be, we're going to delete all of the Docker files, except for our new one. Surely there's a better way of doing this. Hold on. Give me a little space here. Right, so all of these. AI Chat Lambda, Audio Transcriber, CRUD API, Media Lambda, Render Job, Summarize Transcription, Twitch Lambda, Upload Video, Video Ingester, and YouTube Lambda. So that's a total of 10 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Comments is kind of redundant. And messed up my count, almost. So yeah, just go ahead and delete /Docker file. Cool. So let's see, Copilot, can you make a good commit message out of all this? It's a lie. Consolidate. Individual Docker files with build stages. And then it likes to repeat itself. So I think that's the gist of what we're doing here. I did add this. Sure. Why 5? Why not? Apparently the default is 1, and I want more than 1, so 5 is more than 1. All right, we're gonna commit that and publish. And hey, oh, never mind. Still running. Okay, so now we're pushing that. So let's try to do YouTube Lambda, the Docker file does not exist. Huh. What do you mean the Docker file does not exist? I'm looking at the Docker file right here. We have YouTube Lambda, right? Huh. Push image? What do you mean?
I saw it when I walked, boy.
Oh, right. We have a check for the individual Docker files to exist. So that is not necessary. And theoretically, like, I don't think this isn't strictly necessary anymore. Right, because by having a single Docker file and kind of moving the responsibility of figuring out how to build it, we have abstracted away the idea of, oh, you have to have this directory for the service, for the thing to build. Okay, so let's try that again. Okay, so notice a lot still not cached, but to be fair, we are changing files. I probably, let's see, Docker ignore, ignore scripts. Yeah, so like push, oops, Control S. Push image is inside of the scripts folder, so we shouldn't copy the scripts folder into the context. We're still pushing our gigabytes of data to ECR. All right. Well, hey, you know, all right, we want to we want this to finish before we try another build, because obviously it's not going to be cached if. I wonder. No. Oh, actually, you know what? I bet this won't be cached anyway, right? Because the context that this is running under is one in which the scripts folder is included in the context, and then I just told it to exclude it with Docker ignore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel this, and then we're going to run that task again. So I bet this won't be cached, right? Because the context will be different. But my hope is, well, one, I should just stop changing files. But the hope is that maybe this time, if I can just stop changing files, that after this is complete, we run the build on one of the other things, that the cargo build will be cached. Because if it's still not, even when nothing on disk changes, I guess that tells me I don't understand something, which will be fun. All right. How long does this take? More than a minute. Is it like 2 minutes to do? So after this, we're going to work on some front end. The next thing in the list of things to do specifically is show timestamp when moving mouse over timeline. Let's go ahead and convert that to an issue. So in the glowing telegram video editor project repo, this one, hey, we have no PRs. We're gonna open one to add the ability to hover over our timeline. We'll look at that in a little bit. Hover over the timeline and see the timestamp at the point where the mouse is. Because that will make it easier to understand where we are in the video as we're like figuring out where we want to move the playhead to. So let's just go ahead and create that pull request, and we'll go back here. Still building, still pushing, busy. So clearly not 2 minutes, maybe 2.5. Should be almost there, right? So it has all the dependencies. It's compiling all the sub crates. In whatever order it decided it wanted to do that. Coming up on 3 minutes. But this is why I want it to be cached, right? So that I can, it's gonna be interesting, right? I guess what the build process will look like. I'm likely going to use a GitHub action where it's just gonna do Docker build for each of the services and then start pushing them. I think what I can do is I can push them to the Docker registry on GitHub, because there's a thing that auto mirrors it. So I might go in that direction, or I can just have it directly pushed to ECR from GitHub Actions. Have to consider what's going to make more sense. We already have some of the GitHub Actions have permissions to be able to, like, it has like an AWS credential, so, or a way to obtain one. All right, well, that completed. Let's try a different one, and we're gonna see. I'm just gonna give this one more shot. We're gonna see if so that was YouTube Lambda. Let's go back to Twitch Lambda. Is the build process cached? Yes. Okay, so that's what should happen, right? Is that all of these things should, like, there should be no work, right? Everything is built, all the layers are there, the compiled executables are in the layer. So all it has to do is copy a single file out of a layer and take another existing layer and put the file onto that. So it should be like nearly instant. So if we do the same thing with CRUD API, it should also be instant. Yeah, and then it just has to push, right? So it cached Rust Builder, and the only thing it actually has to do in terms of the build process is it has to copy from Rust Builder the compiled executable and export the image, right? So that was the goal. Of course, we're still pushing our audio transcriber with its gigantic model, but let's see. So let's do this, and we'll commit that and push that. So that is the .git folder changed. I'm pretty sure that is not being included in the context, but we'll just see. Technically, something on disk has changed. Let's take a look at, I think upload video is also, yeah. We just have to push the Rust binary. And then the other one we can test here is the media lambda. So that's a Python lambda that's also Dockerized. So there's very little for it to do. Because it's just getting an existing base image and putting a Python file in it. So it just has to download the latest one and rebuild it. And then push it, which is the part that takes longer. Okay. And of course, this is concurrently pushing multiple things. But yeah, I think we're done with this. So I'm gonna go back to here. We're going to switch back to main. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna enable auto merge. And that should take care of itself. So done with that for now. The Docker files disappearing temporarily since I switched back to main isn't going to mess with the push. You know, it already has the images. It's just trying to push them, so that's fine. And we're gonna work on the Glow in Telegram video editor repo instead. So let's go back over to here, and we're going to grab this, and we're gonna work on show timestamp when moving mouse over timeline. Okay, so now I need to remember how we work on this project. So, oh, something finished. Looks like our push to of the media lambda completed. This one's still ongoing. All right. So anyway, so we're gonna clear. We're gonna go up to glowing Telegram video editor. I love those long folder names, right? npm install. I think we have Storybook. Yeah, it wants me to update npm. I'll do that. We have Storybook, so we'll see if we can get that going. I think is it just npm run Storybook? So far so good. Just ignore the warning. All right, so here is our storybook for our video editor component. So we do have like a timeline. Do I have a story for the let's look at the video selection page. So this is the big component that this excuse me, that this package provides, which is it's a video player with like controls, although it's hard to see the controls in this view. Maybe if I zoom back out. Nope. There should be controls right there. I think we don't see it because the view is kind of constrained. And then there's the thing that I call a timeline here. That's what this timeline component over here is for. And then we have like the ability to like show transcript of what I'm talking about, and then chat as well. And these would be interactable. And then zoom in and zoom out on the timeline. This area could probably be a little bit more compact. It's taking up a lot of real estate for not a whole lot of reason, but I've not really spent a lot of time refining this. Just like I want this to work, and then we can go back. Hence the buttons. Look, very colorful buttons here for these actions. Doesn't really fit. And then we have some tables here with like data about the video. Like this is the part of the component. The surface is the what we're using all this AI stuff to like identify interesting things in the video, things that maybe either I want to call it like attentions here is my attempt of saying like, hey, AI, tell me about things that I either I need to go change a password. I need to go. I need to make sure this is not in the final video. I need to go take down the VOD. I need to send an apology. I don't know, those sorts of things that, hey, you should really take a look at this sort of things. And then transcription errors are, you know, in the transcription, you're talking about this and you just kind of veer off and maybe the transcript isn't right. With the thought of being like, oh, I could change the transcript, which the transcript kind of UI does provide edits when there's data here. And then you're able to tell it to, hey, go back now that I fixed the transcript and reanalyze it would be the thought. And there's some stuff here with like being able to cut sections of video and export to then be able to generate our videos on YouTube, which is working now. I have now pushed 2 videos to YouTube using this component and using the clip silence as an export into the overall project, right? So when this component is in the overall Glowing Telegram project, to do that. So anyway, so one thing I notice is there is a component that I want to be able to interact with. You can see there's something there. You don't actually see it because, again, I think this is too narrow of a view to see the control. But let's take a look at the code. So the way this is organized is we have components, and then I'm using this atomic design pattern, or whatever it's called, this atomic design something or other, where I'm organizing a hierarchy of components. And the basic idea is that my components that I write that are not composed of any of my other components, so they're like base level things, are called atoms, right? So I have a button component, and it's not trivial, right? There's logic in here, but it's just a button, and it's not really there isn't really anything that makes sense to extract out as subcomponents here. It's just logic for like presentation, some of which maybe should be moved somewhere else, but that's a separate topic. But so all of these, like button, heading link, icon button, search, tab, time dot marker, all of these things, right? What is a time segment marker? A time segment marker is this little bar right here, I think, on the timeline. Video player controls, video player progress bar. I think this is what I'm looking for. So the video player progress bar is a thing that you can drag around to scroll in the, to scrub in the video that's playing. Can we, does this work? Yeah, I do have, this is linked to some random video that Copilot is like, hey, I need, you know, the SRC equals and then it auto-completed a link to a real video. But anyway, I wonder, so let's take a look at video selection page. So video selection page has a lot going on in it, and probably ultimately the thought was that the Glowing Telegram project would probably, like, a lot of this would be moved into it, potentially, like, as it makes sense to override these things with things that are going to be application specific. I think a random person picking up this library and wanting to use it for something probably would not use video selection page, but would be able to use kind of the components that this component uses to be able to build their own thing. And that's kind of the idea with making this a freestanding component. This is actually on npm.js. Like, you can npm install package JSON. This is at Sabin Glowing Telegram video editor. So it's actually npm installable HEPL 3.0 npm module. Now, would you want to? I don't know, but it exists. So anyway, getting sidetracked. So in here, we embed a viewport, and we tell the viewport, hey, here's the video player. So, and then the timeline. So the timeline here is this area right here, which we do have a storybook page for. Is there a dark mode? Oh, that is dark mode. All right, anyway. So we have the timeline, and then we have the video player. So the video player is a molecule. So continuing my explanation, right? So the atoms are kind of the base level components that don't use any other of my custom components. Then the molecules are components that use atoms. If I have any component that I make that uses atoms, is a molecule unless it uses something like a molecule or bigger. And that's kind of the thing, is there's this hierarchy. So atom, molecule, organism. I feel like there's something in between or something after, but anyway. I think after, right? So there's templates and pages. So really maybe video selection page might be a template, or maybe there's a way to like, I think the idea is a page is something that actually you would show to a user, which this is, and then maybe viewport should be a template. It's a component where you pass in other components and something, I don't know. Also, to-dos. Things I've not done there yet. Anyway, one thing I want to do here, maybe, is let's add a story. I'm going to add a story for video player, and then I want to add one for just the progress bar as well. So we can see this working at different levels. So let's make a video player .stories.tsx. And since I didn't really remember how to do this, I'm just gonna copy an existing one. And this is gonna be video player from video player. Hey, Cygamma. So are you creating an image of the app, pushing it to ECR and then to ECS? Yeah. So what I was doing before with the Docker stuff was, it was creating an image. It was creating an image that had all of the individual Rust binaries, right, in that build step. And then it was then creating a separate image for like the runtime plus the binary, right? So creating separate images for each app or each service, pushing those to ECR. And then some of those are actually for lambdas. So I'm using like containerized lambdas. So I'm just, because the backend almost entirely is written in Rust. So I have a compiled executable, and I can actually deploy that as a Lambda function in AWS. And I can tell it, hey, just use this image in ECR for that. And then some of the other ones I'm using AWS Batch, and those are using either ECS through Fargate, right? So like I don't have to spin up EC2 instances for that. And then one of the things, the transcriber. The transcriber, I think, is the one, because it's is it the transcriber? Something's using GPU. I think it's the transcriber. Because that's using OpenAI Whisper. So the transcriber job is using ECS, but using EC2 spot instances. So I have it set up where I can request a run of a job in AWS Batch, and then it will automatically spin up EC2 instances, spot instances, with criteria of like, hey, this should be cheap. and then run the container on that EC2 instance, so that I can get some cheaper GPU for the one of my processes that uses GPU for audio to text transcription. So I guess yes, to more directly answer your question. And then the front end is being, this component is part of the overall front end that gets pulled in, gets npm installed, and the front end is like bundled and pushed to S3 and is served via CloudFront. So that, well, in a real app that had actual users, it would be, you know, faster to load wherever you were in the world. But this is, at least for now, just for me, until it gets to a point where I think it would actually be something that I would want to be responsible for maintaining for other people, and I would actually have a business plan for, which I don't at the moment. All right, so we're gonna keep on going here. Video player, and the component is video player. And then what I do is I'm tagging the stories with their kind of level in the atomic design hierarchy. And then the decorator here is so that we have a container, because the story, like the actual component should be responsive and scale to its size. So I think here we're trying to say that the height should be some limited height. I wonder if we can get rid of this. Let's try it without it and see what that looks like. All right, and then we're gonna say video player, and then I'm afraid I don't know what that's going to do, but we're gonna try that. And then yeah, so we need a video URL. Let's see, in the video selection page story, we have a URL which apparently gives us something that's playable. So we'll and it doesn't have anything weird in it, so we'll use that. And then we do have some callbacks that are optional. Yeah, I could do that. And then ref is supposed to be allows getting a ref to the component since once the components unmount react. Okay, so I don't think I need to provide a ref there. So if I go back to here, we now have a video player molecule. And Saigama says, it's cool, thanks for explaining. Yeah, you're welcome. If you have any other questions, happy to field them. I feel I could probably do a better job. These streams are not just for me to code, but to share what I'm working on. And I feel like I could do a better job of like making sure people know that, hey, if you have questions, feel free to interrupt me to ask them. When I think I've given an explanation, in this kind of conversation, I don't know. Are you still around? Was that a good explanation? Those sorts of things, right? So I'll just dive back into whatever I was working on before. But yeah, you are welcome. All right, so now we have a video player, and this is the control thing that I was talking about. So you can see, maybe if I click play and pause. Okay, maybe this is just broken. Maybe it's just broken because there is a little, so all of this is my, but yeah, like my UI, right? This is not the default. Like if you just used a video element, or I'm using a library hls.js, I think you can have it provide controls, but I'm providing my own controls. Also, so I can click here. Oh, maybe I can't. Interesting. Oh, okay, that works. Okay, so it's a little buggy. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. All right. So, some bugs here, maybe? Because so one thing is that this is not a button, so why does it look like a button? Two, I can definitely click different places in the timeline, and it does advance, but the time isn't changing. It's kind of weird. So let's take a look at the video player component. Maybe I'm just doing something wrong here, right? So it does take a ref. And what is the ref supposed to be for? Ref set video. Okay, so yeah, we provide a callback here. We're actually storing the video element ref in a state. I think so. Use imperative handle here. What this means for us is that if I were to, can we go back to where this is used? So if we go video selection page, yeah, so we provide a video player ref here, which is coming from, like, we do a use ref, and this allows things outside of the video player to be able to interact and seek to a time, but it shouldn't be required. Right, so this is where, like, handle seek to time lets us seek to time. It also lets the keyboard shortcuts hook and these callbacks interact with the video player, but it shouldn't be required for it to work. So it's really interesting why. Let's go back to here. Can we see? Let's see. Show, change add-ons orientation. Why don't I see the add-ons? Show add-ons. Oh, right. I have to be, this is the docs view. Let me go to this. Oh, here we go. Okay. So if hit play, you can see time update. So that's happening. But this isn't updating, which is kind of weird. And then if we click, there's a pause because it has to request video and download it. But yeah, you can see, oh, we've seeked further. Okay, what is broken? And is this, I wonder if this is something that's only broken here. What if, can we go back to video selection page? Does this work here? Yeah, okay. So one, yeah, okay, this does display the time. Also, it looks differently. It doesn't, interesting. Yeah, it doesn't look like a button here because we have a background that is the same color as the background of that area. But yeah, why is that the way it is? Is there something that we're doing in, let's take a look at the viewport. So the viewport is the component that wraps the video player. Is there something in maybe like this W full? Is there something in the styling here that's influencing the behavior of the video player? I wouldn't think it would be grid. I mean, it's obviously the grid and the grid columns and the call span is controlling what portion of the layout the video player sits in, but I wouldn't think that would. Let's try, let's go back to here, go into our story. Let's wrap it in a div. Try some things. And if we go back to here and go back to this view, okay. So what is... How does this work? Obviously this did nothing. I'll leave the div, but yeah, that's fine. So we have a section, we have a div, and another div, and another div, as you do. MB4, margin bottom, display grid, W full is with 100%, grid template columns, grid columns, span 2, span 2. Is there something in the thing that wraps viewport? I mean, we do have display flex, H screen. Huh. So in the story for video selection page, everything works. In the story for video player, things don't work. Let's instead of trying to solve this problem here, let me add a story for the thing that video player uses, which is the video player progress bar. We don't have a story for that. And so we can just kind of work on that in isolation to figure out why is it not working right. Video player progress bar stories.tsx. All right, so and that's how easy it can be to add a story with Storybook. It's just going to give us like a default. So if I go over here now, so we can see cannot parse PT and ANS, right? So we are missing some things. Args, are those the right args? Does it know? What are the props for video player progress bar? They are progress, seek to percent, and duration. All right, so progress, go away. Progress should be, let's start 0. Seek to percent should be, we can do action, although we haven't imported action. Isn't there? There we go. And then duration, 100. I feel like that's not going to work though. Duration here. No, it should be a number. Okay, so look at that. Hey, that works. So why doesn't it work in the other view? Why doesn't it work in the other view? And we can add some other stories here as well that kind of show other views. So that's not going to do anything. Good try, Copilot. So now we have the default story and a progress one. And so this is what it looks like when it's halfway through. 50 seconds out of 100 seconds. Let's say 70 out of 100, because that will look a little different. Yeah, 1:10. There we go. Sweet. And then controls here actually lets us change this interactively. So you can see, hey, look at that. That's what it looks like when it moves, right? Okay, so it works on its own, but when it's in the video player, it doesn't. I should fix that at some point, I guess. On the other hand, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. Let's what I'm gonna do though, because the thing I wanted to focus on was the fact that the timeline does not have the ability to hover over and see the time. And I was thinking, oh, maybe the other one didn't. Apparently it does. Let's create an issue in the backlog to let's say fix video. Is it video player? To let progress bar work without video. What is it called? Video selection page. Video selection page. I'll just create a draft, and we'll put it somewhere here on the. It's not going to be an immediate priority, let's say. And hey, while we're at it, looks like it's time to take a break, because I do that every hour. I'm gonna go stretch my legs, and I'll be back, and we'll keep on working on actually the timeline. So I'll be back in just like 30 minutes or so.